What if civilizations can lose information faster than they can repair it? Not metaphorically. Computationally, modern societies survive because enormous systems constantly work in the background to preserve organization. Records are copied, standards are maintained, knowledge is transferred, infrastructure is repaired, specialists are trained, supply chains are coordinated, entire civilizations spend massive amounts of energy just maintaining informational stability. But what happens when that maintenance starts failing? In biology, there's a concept called an error threshold. If a system accumulates errors faster than it can correct them, organization begins to break down. Eventually, the structure can no longer preserve itself. In today's video, I want to explore a fascinating possibility. What if complex civilizations can experience something similar? Not because societies are literally organisms, but because sufficiently complex information systems may face their own maintenance limits under pressure. And one of the best places to explore that question might be the late Bronze Age collapse. If you're new here, my name is Charles Carroll, and on this channel I talk about persistence, constraints, large-scale systems, cosmology, information theory, and the structural patterns that seem to appear across nature at many different scales. And in today's video, we're going to explore the Bronze Age collapse through a computational systems perspective. Not as a conspiracy, not as a grand claim that we've solved history, but as a testable framework asking whether highly complex societies can lose organizational fidelity under energetic and informational stress. Because when most people think about collapse, they imagine armies, invasions, droughts, or disasters, and those things absolutely matter. But underneath all of that sits another question that may be just as important. Can a civilization maintain the informational structure required to keep itself functioning? The Bronze Age world was incredibly interconnected for its time. Trade routes stretched across huge distances. Palaces coordinated agriculture, redistribution, manufacturing, taxation, diplomacy, and military logistics. Scribes tracked inventories on clay tablets. Entire bureaucratic systems existed to preserve coordination across regions and generations. That level of complexity is powerful, but complexity also carries maintenance costs, and that's where this idea begins. Section 1, Passive versus Active Persistence. One of the core ideas behind this framework is the distinction between passive persistence and active persistence. Some structures survive mostly because physics traps them into stable configurations. A planet orbiting a star does not need to constantly compute how to remain in orbit. A black hole does not need an archive system to preserve its structure. These are examples of what I would call passive persistence. Stability emerges primarily from geometry, conservation laws, and energy configurations. But active systems are different. Cells survive by constantly repairing themselves. Brains survive by maintaining enormous energy-consuming signaling networks. Civilizations survive through administration, coordination, planning, logistics, memory preservation, and institutional continuity. In other words, active systems survive by continuously spending energy to suppress degradation faster than disorder destroys organization. That means complexity is not free. Every archive requires maintenance. Every specialist requires support. Every trade network requires coordination. Every institution depends on informational continuity across time. The more complex the system becomes, the more expensive it becomes to maintain informational stability. And that naturally leads to a very important question. Is there a point where the cost of maintaining complexity exceeds what the system can realistically support? Section 2, the error threshold idea. This is where the biological analogy becomes useful, but we have to be extremely careful with the wording here. The framework does not claim civilizations literally replicate genetically. It proposes that systems requiring high-fidelity transmission of organizational information may exhibit analogous threshold behavior under constrained correction capacity. In molecular biology, copying information is never perfect. Errors constantly appear during replication. Living systems survive because they spend energy correcting those errors through proofreading and repair mechanisms. But there's a limit. As systems become more complex, the required transmission fidelity rises dramatically. Eventually, a threshold appears where errors begin accumulating faster than they can be corrected. When that happens, the system starts losing coherent organization. What's interesting is that this may not only apply to molecules. Civilizations also depend on information transmission across generations. Knowledge has to survive. Standards have to remain stable. Administrative systems have to coordinate across time and geography. Skilled specialists have to train replacements accurately enough to preserve institutional continuity. If enough informational degradation accumulates across enough layers simultaneously, the system may begin simplifying itself structurally, not necessarily because people disappear, not necessarily because all knowledge vanishes overnight, but because the system can no longer maintain the same organizational density it once supported, and that distinction matters enormously. The result is not necessarily total systemic failure, it is topological simplification. Section 3, the Bronze Age collapse. Now let's connect this idea to the late Bronze Age. Around the late 13th and early 12th centuries BCE, multiple major Bronze Age systems across the eastern Mediterranean began fragmenting or collapsing within a relatively compressed historical window. Palatial centers were destroyed, trade systems contracted, administrative continuity weakened, writing systems disappeared from some regions for centuries, large-scale coordination networks broke apart, and historians already recognize many contributing factors: droughts, resource stress, regional conflict, trade disruption, migration pressures, political instability. The framework is not attempting to erase any of those explanations. Instead, it asks a different question. Could internal informational maintenance failure have amplified vulnerability to those external pressures? Because these Bronze Age palace systems were incredibly information-dense for their era. Scribes tracked inventories, labor allocations, tribute systems, bronze distribution, agricultural storage, taxation, and logistics across large geographic networks. That means these societies were not only moving goods, they were moving coordination, and coordination itself requires maintenance energy. If agricultural surplus begins shrinking, the first systems to come under pressure may not be armies. They may be the long-term informational systems whose survival returns are delayed rather than immediate. Archives, training systems, standardization systems, institutional continuity loops, and once those begin degrading, the civilization may slowly lose the ability to preserve high-fidelity coordination across generations, not instantly, not magically, but structurally. That's the key distinction. Section 4. Why this becomes scientific. This is also where the framework either survives or fails scientifically, because if this is only a metaphor, it doesn't really matter. What makes the idea interesting is that it can potentially generate measurable predictions. For example, the framework predicts that warning signals should appear before total collapse layers become visible archaeologically. Things like declining standardization consistency, reduced administrative coordination, shrinking planning horizons, scribal continuity breakdown, and increased variance in institutional behavior. In complex systems theory, there's a phenomenon called critical slowing down. As systems approach transition boundaries, recovery from perturbations becomes slower and fluctuations become larger. We already observe versions of this in ecology, climate systems, financial systems, and network dynamics. The question is whether institutional systems under energetic stress might exhibit similar behavior. And importantly, the framework includes falsification conditions. If informational degradation appears only after collapse, the hypothesis weakens significantly. If centralized systems consistently outperform decentralized resilient systems under identical stress conditions, the framework weakens. If the causal order reverses, the framework weakens. That matters because real science requires the possibility of failure. The goal here is not to force history into a predetermined narrative. The goal is to ask whether informational maintenance itself may function as a measurable survival constraint in sufficiently complex societies. Section 5. Why this matters beyond the Bronze Age. One reason I find this fascinating is because it changes how we think about complexity itself. We often assume complexity automatically means advancement or superiority, but highly complex systems may actually be extremely fragile if they depend on continuous high-fidelity maintenance across enormous interconnected structures. Sometimes simpler systems persist longer precisely because they require less active correction overhead, and that doesn't only apply to ancient civilizations. Modern societies are also deeply informational systems. Supply chains, digital infrastructure, institutional trust, archives, financial coordination, scientific continuity, educational systems, and technological specialization all depend on maintaining enormous amounts of organized information across time. Again, this framework is not claiming modern collapse is inevitable. That would go far beyond the evidence. But it may suggest that informational maintenance itself is one of the hidden thermodynamic costs of civilization. The larger and more interconnected the system becomes, the more energy and coordination may be required simply to preserve coherent organization. And maybe one of the most important scientific questions is not just how civilizations grow, but how they maintain fidelity while growing. If you've made it this far in the video, thanks for sticking around. It really means a lot. This is still an evolving research direction, and I think one of the most important parts of this process is keeping the discussion grounded, testable, and scientifically honest. The goal is not to force history into a dramatic narrative. It's to explore whether persistence, information maintenance, and energetic constraints may interact in measurable ways across sufficiently complex systems. If you found this interesting, consider liking the video, subscribing if you're not already, and sharing it with other like-minded people who might enjoy these kinds of discussions. And as always, thank you for being part of the conversation. Join me next time. Who knows where persistence might lead us?